Hey y'all, hey, today's topic is about going from narcissist to narcissist. All right, let me go ahead and get into it. So, many times, the survivors of narcissistic abuse, we are enmeshed with what I call the final narcissist or entangled with the final narcissist. Then at the apex of the situationship, there's the big bang now, there's the big boom. And after, I think what they call the fallout, after that, we often realize that there's so much destruction, there's so much damage, it's conspicuous and undeniable. And what we really want to do is get away, heal to a certain extent, but I think a lot of us, importantly, want to figure out, how did this happen? How did I get here? And we start researching, we start searching. I know I did. I can say that for myself. I did. And I really want to know some answers. I talked to my family members and I pushed for information harder than I ever have, I think, in my life. And I eventually learned. And thank God that God allowed us to come out of these situationships, these narcissistic abusive relationships. Thank God, because the thing that we do is we reset if we take our time to heal in the proper manner. And then we go on the deep dive for the information in our bloodlines. Oh, there's a thing I saw my coach, she pinned the other day. She calls it the ABCs, which is a acronym for altars, bloodlines, and curses. Now I'm still learning more about the altars and evil altars, but I think that's a great way and simple way to put it for us to remember. But what I was saying was, we need to look in our bloodlines to see the negative patterns and possible curses that we need to break for us and the rest of the people in our bloodline, so we can, as individuals, the people in our bloodline, they have their own choice, but as individuals, walk in our purpose with God and walk how God wants us to walk in life and on earth, for Him. So yeah. So when this happens, it's an opportunity to reset, and I believe if it's done right, we'll be very happy with the results. But once God wakes us up, once we take heed to the wake-up call, and we look back over our life, we can realize that our mother or our father are narcissists. We can realize that our grandmother or our grandfather are narcissists on the maternal or paternal side. And I realized, because I've helped others, I realize that sometimes people don't want to do this dig yet, because they're just not comfortable doing it, especially when they're thinking about their mother, someone they love, or their father, someone they love that could be like this, and that's how they were conditioned to choose and approve these type of people to be in their life. But if someone's ready for that type of information, you can find out that your aunties and uncles and cousins, a lot of them highly narcissistic or narcissists. The friends that you thought you had in elementary, on through high school, college, etc., on through your first jobs in life, etc., you come to find out that they're narcissists and highly narcissistic. And then you start thinking, well, but that final narcissist wasn't the only narcissist. As far as a person that I've had a relationship with, there were other partners that they were narcissists too. You'd be like, oh. And this is what we start to realize when we start to truthfully heal and to start to see the patterns. start to see the patterns as we look back over our life. It's like each of them knowingly took their turn to either lull you to sleep by using your time and distracting you so you wouldn't walk in your God-given purpose, or the other set of narcissists were there to use and abuse. And even though they may not have been the most severe, they were just doing their part to get you on to the other one. They were just doing their part to get you on to another, and then the final one. And it's like, even though many of these people don't know each other, or some do because, family, friends, but as a conglomerate, these people don't know each other, but they all know they're taking their turn to do their part to get you to the blow up point, the destruction, to the final narcissist. And yeah, and some of them consciously know. Some of them are real deep in the practice, and some of them I think is just like an intuitive subconscious thing. And there's so much to learn because a lot of us, maybe not all, but a lot of us that survive and are thriving after narcissistic abuse have grown up in a narcissistic system. Many times we don't know what love looks like, and we don't know what like looks like, because the people that were in our face, our relatives, family members, mothers, fathers, whoever, they were fake liking and fake loving. So we have no idea what it looks like. And that's why it can be easier to choose people that are the exact same, because we were conditioned in that environment. That's what we knew. A lot of us. Some of us may think, I know ideas like, well, how come I wasn't taught about anything about this? But if you realize your family is a narcissistic system, like the whole crew or most of the crew are narcissists, they're gonna keep hold to the system. They're not gonna teach you, who's not a narcissist, the games they're gonna play on you, because then how else are the games gonna work? So it's like, thank God we have learned, but that's the main part of the reason. They're not gonna teach you, and then once they figure you're not like them, they're gonna identify you as a person to use and abuse, use up your time and distract you, so you won't be able to fulfill your God-given purpose in life. So I heard my coach say yesterday, and it's just a reminder in this video, if you've gotten out of this type of relationship, I suggest that you please do not get in another relationship and heal. Now, this is something I don't hear about a lot. I would even suggest, this is me myself, that you don't even rekindle old friendships or get new friendships until you heal. Yes, you can associate with people. Yes, you can be friendly, but as far as being a friend to somebody, and the closeness that might require for you, I suggest you don't do it, because we have to heal. We have to develop a higher self-esteem. We have to develop greater boundaries. And if there was an issue, I'll say it like this: choosing and approving intimate partners or partners to be with, there's going to be an issue of choosing and approving friends, because partners are friends with a romantic interest, or they're supposed to be friends with a romantic interest. There's going to be an issue with choosing associates, and it's going to be an issue with making good choices in general for people that you associate with or allow to be in your space. But I suggest that you heal, you get in a community where you can work on the healing, and you can be friendly, you can have activities and things, but work on yourself. Find out what you like. Start to figure out what you don't like, because a lot of times when many of us go through these types of relationships, we've been on go from the get. So it's like we go through school, we get a job, we have these friends that we develop friendships with through school, then so on and so forth. And it's like many of us can get in that hypnotic rhythm without us knowing who we really are. So this is an opportunity, if you're in that situation, to take a step back, heal, find out who you are, what you like, what you don't like, and start developing a strong no. Because many of us didn't know how to say no, and if we did, it was not often enough. And yeah, and I know, oh, you need to heal sounds cliche. It sounds cliche, but as I've gone through the healing process over these past 4+ years, I can say that it's really a thing. It's really true. And most of us aren't gonna know it and how helpful it can be until we go through it. And so I suggest that find you a good coach if you need to, find you a good counselor, therapist if you need to. You can do both, and allow them to help you through the healing process. Yep. So that concludes this portion of the video, but I also want to tell you about a little ditty I found.
Yes, and I had to look up that word, D-I-T as in Tom, T as in Tom. Why? We use that in the choir when we were speaking about a short song, but we're going to use it for this film right here. So, for the love of Ruth, I love this picture. It didn't have all that lasciviousness in it and all that language and them scenes. Y'all know what them scenes is in it. We have our very own Loretta Devine in here, Denise Boot and Gary Jordan. And yes, so Ruth finds family in Naomi. She marries her son and things seem to be going well, but then tragedy strikes. And Ruth vows, or she says she's gonna stay with Naomi when Naomi returns to her hometown in Savannah and help her out. Then the tension develops in the story, more tension develops in the story, and there are challenges. There are challenges with some family members, and I just invite you to watch the movie because Ruth's Boaz, or in this movie, Braxton, does show up, and you might like the way things go. But the movie, I invite you to watch the movie. It's free on Tubi, and it's good for some lighthearted entertainment.
And I got some wildlife facts for you.
Now, have y'all ever heard of some African penguins? I thought the penguins was hanging out in the Antarctic somewhere in only cold weather. But come to find out, we got some African penguins that hang out at the beaches on the southwestern part of Africa. Okay, so I saw these when I went to the zoo/conservatory. These penguins get up to about 24 inches to 28 inches tall, so about a good 2 feet. They weigh between 5 and 8 pounds, and they can dive. They can dive now, and they can swim real good, but they cannot fly. So their diet consists of fish and squid. And yes, that wraps up this wildlife portion of the video. Thank you for watching. Blessings. Talk soon.